a self-realization by all of the actors inside of the ecosystem that the cloud, while still serving the fundamental building blocks that hyperscale builds have, there became more of a latency and a bandwidth issue as the Internet of Things is now collecting up to tens of billions of data sources and trying to transfer that, process that sheer volume of data and turn it into a real-time decision for the end user. It's coming from IT, it's coming from OT, it comes from any type of information that the end user would drive an application around. It's not so much about private or public cloud, it's not about centralized or edge computing, it's not really about converged or traditional IT. It really becomes an ecosystem of all those parts where I think the application will drive a much more informed decision based upon the application and the outcome that the end user is trying to achieve.
And you're foreseeing that this will create more demand for co-location, which is perhaps something that fell out of favor a little with the move towards cloud-based applications. Why do you feel that's going to be the case? Why do you think co-location could become more important?
I think it's a combination of a couple of factors. Latency, bandwidth, in some cases regulatory, governance. I think what you'll find is kind of similar to kind of a spoke and hub. There will be a room for the cloud, there will be a room for what we'd call a regional data center, and then something much more closer to the user, sometimes inside the city itself, called the edge. So the edge, we feel, is the key going forward to managing real-time data. The edge could be considered a single device. It could be considered a mini data center up to including 1 through 10 servers, and then a regional data center would be 11 and above. I think it's a big opportunity for the co-location and service providers to take a look at an inventory of their assets, take a look at, do they have the right assets, do they have the right assets in the right places, and then make a business decision of an ambition. I think what you'll find is many of these players today have a horizontal approach to the market. This gives them an opportunity to start to achieve some vertical depth with some of their customers.
And if you are working in an organization that's involved in the Internet of Things and you're starting to come up against these problems, are there any steps that they could take to ensure they're finding the right type of hosting arrangements, the right type of computing environments to process the information and get it out in a timely manner?
It's sometimes not so much about technology, but where you want to be an actor in the overall ecosystem. I think this is very similar in that there's many outcomes based upon the ambition of the colo or service provider on what part of that ecosystem they want to play.